소주 한 잔, yeah! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, if you don't know much about me, you might not know that I'm really into rock music and local shows and just the local scene. But I felt that there isn't a lot of information out there about the kind of local music scene until someone introduced me to a band or to a show. Like, I had no idea what to do, like where to go, how to find and penetrate this local music scene. So in today's video, I want to basically explain to you how to go about doing that. So there's literally like two, maybe three ways that you can pretty much find concerts and shows and bands in Korea. So if you're trying to get into more of like the local scene, so I'm talking about like really small stages, not too big names, but you're just trying to check out the local music scene, then you're gonna want to come up to Seoul, go to Hongdae. I know like other cities do have concerts and stuff, but since I'm living in Seoul and I'm based in Seoul, and frankly, the Hongdae music scene is quite big. For all intents and purposes, in my video today, I'm just gonna focus on Hongdae. And honestly, like some of you might be thinking, yeah, well, I mean, I see the buskers all the time in Hongdae, and I'm just like, no. Because I know so many people that love to go and see the buskers, and when I tell them like I like to go to Hongdae, like, and watch the shows, people always think that I'm talking about buskers, and I'm like, I mean, they're not bad, and like, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, no, like, there's more. Like, there's actual venues and places to go and bands to see, like, literally probably every weekend, if not almost every weekend, especially in the summer, and like when it's warm out, there's always lots of shows and festivals. So I digress. So anyway, the first thing that you should do is you should go on Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, you're gonna need Instagram. So go on Instagram and start following the bands that you like. Now you're probably like, but Sarah, I came to this video because I don't know any bands. Like, I thought you were gonna tell me how to find a band. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of bands that I really like that play often in Hongdae. And this isn't sponsored by them or anything. Like, I just really like them, and their shows that I go to, like, I go to their shows quite often. I can't speak English, I'm sorry. And so I'm gonna put their names down below in the description box. So what I would recommend is go and check out the bands that I recommend and see if you like them, because you can just search them on YouTube and like check out their sound. And if you like them, you can follow them on Instagram, and essentially once you have just like even one band that you're interested in, just look out for their show and go to their show. Because in Korea, I find that in the music scene, you don't usually see like just one band playing. Usually there's a lineup of several bands. So what I'll do is I'll go to a concert for like one band or two bands that I like, and there'll be other bands that are playing that day or other music acts. And so I go and I listen to all of them. And honestly, like almost every show that I've gone to, there was at least one more band that was new for me that I'd never heard or experienced before that I end up really loving. And then after I discover this new band, I follow them on Instagram, and then I find out about their shows, and I go to their shows and find more bands. And this is honestly like how I got to know so many different bands and places, was because it's just a snowball effect. Once you start following one band and start going to shows, you get more exposure to other bands and other groups, and it just builds. And then you might even like socialize with people at shows or meet friends, and they introduce you to other things that they like too. And I'm really curious, guys, so if you check out some of the bands I've listed down in my description box and you find some that you're interested in, please let me know what they are down in the comment section, because I'm really curious like what your kind of musical taste is. So the second thing that you can do to find more shows and bands in Korea is not only following the bands on Instagram, but following the venues. Basically, if you are following a band and you're going to their concerts, it's more than likely that you're actually going to be going to multiple venues. So what I personally do is after I've seen a new venue or I've kind of just found out about a new venue, I will go on Instagram and follow that venue, because I'll find out that that venue is actually hosting concerts for bands that I like, or like they're hosting concerts that I'm just interested in, or sometimes they have like all-day festivals. So it's a really good idea to follow the venues because you get the really big picture of what else is out there. And you might not even really know any of the lineup, but it's like, well, hey, there's a show, why don't we go check it out? It's like 10,000 won. So step 2 and step 1, it's like kind of similar. Basically follow the bands, follow the venues, and it will just like snowball you into the world of the local rock scene in Korea. And you're probably like, yeah, but I also don't know venues, because I came to this video with Jack Squat and I kind of expected you to just tell me things. So I'm gonna also put a list of some venues down in the description box. So if you guys want to follow the venues, you can just go down and I'll put like their Instagram handles so that you can just go on their Instagram, check them out. There's probably a lot more out there than I will put down there. It's just, these are probably the ones that come to mind when I made this video. Okay, and the third thing that you can do to find concerts and shows and venues and bands and all that jazz is a little bit more adventurous. So this is going to involve Kakao Talk. So if you are familiar with Kakao Talk, you know that there are open chats on there. So if you go on Kakao and you search the open chats for things like indie music, there's like different Kakao groups for the local scene, but the issue is like you're gonna have to know Korean to some extent to be able to do that. You can just go and search like keywords like Hongdae or Hongdae 음악 or like indie 음악 or something like that, and like these Kakao groups are gonna come up, and essentially like if you join those groups, they're just gonna be people who are talking about shows, and those posters and stuff that you see on Instagram, like the shows and the venues, that those posters that they post, you will actually have people sharing those posters with you in Kakao. So if there's like a particular venue or show or just band that you're not actually following on Instagram and you don't know about, when you're in those Kakao groups, like you can find out through other people that way. And that's pretty cool because if you join those groups, like when you do go to concerts, or if you're interested in going to a concert by yourself, it's really cool because you can just be like, hey, I'm going to this concert, I don't know anyone, like who else is going? And you could actually like meet friends that way, like through mutual interest in the music. But like I said, you're gonna need to know Korean to some extent because you're gonna need to use Korean to search the group and to communicate with the people in the group. It's very unlikely that they're gonna like have a conversation in English. So if you're feeling that your Korean is up to par to do that, or you just like the challenge of trying to do that, then go on Kakao and you can just search any sort of keyword related to Hongdae indie rock music. I've been to so many concerts in the past that like I've created so many like amateur videos of concert footage. So if you're really interested in what a show might look like or what concerts might look like in Korea, then let's check them out now. Okay, so I have a bonus for you guys. So not only can you go to shows and follow the venues and follow the bands, but in Korea there's also a lot of music festivals. And what's nice about the festivals is you get to see a bunch of different kinds of styles. Like you will see rock, you will see more pop styles, you will see like R&B and hip hop. So 2 festivals that I know and I have been to, one is Let's Rock Festival. I've been to that almost every year that I've lived in Korea. It's a 2-day festival in Seoul. You cannot camp there, so you pretty much go there, go home, and come back the next day. And the other one is Rainbow Festival, and that one is usually, I think, Gapyeong, because it's kind of located in an isolated area. If you want to do 2 days there, you usually have to camp or do a pension. But those two festivals are great. They happen every year. I'm sure that there are many other festivals. I just don't know about all of them, and I've only usually just gone to these two. So I'll put their website or Instagram information down in the description box. So if you're interested in those festivals, you can look out for next year's festivals. Okay, and finally, one more thing I feel like I should talk about when it comes to music and concerts and shows and festivals and is tickets. Like, yeah, especially if you're a foreigner living in Korea or just visiting Korea, it's like, how do I get a ticket? Because like, maybe Korean is not like something I'm comfortable with. Like, there's a lot of barriers, right? When you're either learning Korean or you really don't know any Korean, but you just want to go do something. So as far as these shows, like, honestly, the best thing about the shows, like the local shows, is you can just pay at the door. And there's usually two prices. Like, one is if you reserve the ticket online in advance, or if you buy the ticket at the door. So usually if you buy the ticket online, it's about 5,000 won cheaper than if you buy it at the door. But if you're anything like me, like sometimes you're making plans with someone to go to a concert, or you don't know if at the last minute you're actually gonna go or change your plans. A lot of times I would just pay at the door because I have commitment problems and I didn't want to be locked into a ticket that I may or may not use. And also, honestly, if Korean is a source of stress and anxiety for you because maybe you don't know Korean well and you don't really want to have to like figure out how to buy a ticket online, then don't sweat, because literally almost every show, just like local show, you can pay at the door. With the exception of, be careful, because if you go to like a venue is like, it's our 20th anniversary concert, or it's this band's 15th anniversary concert, those might be a big deal. They usually will have like an all-day show, and I learned the hard way that those are not easy to get tickets at the door because it's like a bigger event. But for normal shows in the Hongdae area, you can just buy at the door. And if you do want to reserve online, it's not too hard to figure out, and you can ask like a friend, honestly. Like, once you get used to the process of buying a ticket in Korean, it's pretty much cut and dry the same every time. Also, I feel like I should mention this, that if you're gonna go to a festival, like, you gotta get that ticket online. There's no way you can get a festival ticket at the door. Like, I'm pretty sure that like 0% possibility of doing that. Honestly, just go to local shows. Local shows are the easiest place to start because there's like stress-free. Just find it, go, pay at the door, and then from there you can just go to the festivals later when you've got your bearings. And that's pretty much everything, I think. This video I basically just wanted to create for you guys, kind of like for my former self who didn't have this kind of information or have someone to like hold my hand and like help me find stuff. And don't forget, guys, if you check out some of the bands that I suggested down in the description box, please let me know in the comment section what bands you liked, because I'm really curious to see what kind of music taste you guys have, whether it's like rock or pop or whatever. And if you like this video or you found this video helpful or interesting, then please hit that like button. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I make videos related to my life in Korea, language learning, and just other topics related to my life. And see you later.